What is up, everybody? Welcome to another J&T's Fresh Take. T, how you doing tonight, man?
All right, fools, let's do this.
All right, now a few weeks ago we did a cast where we talked about the 80s, movies of the 80s, and the stuff that we got away with because people just didn't care. So now we're moving on to the 90s. Now at this point, I'm becoming a teenager. I'm still sneaking into movies that I'm probably not supposed to be watching, and life is pretty good for the first half. And this is what we're going to talk about. The first half, we're gonna break this up into two halves: 90 to 94, 90 to 95, and 96 to 99. So that's how we're going to break this up. So the first half is basically 90. I'll say this: the 90s. My favorite genre in the 90s had to be the action movies, because at this point, the action movies were like, this is when Van Damme starts hitting his stride. Van Damme, Seagal, they started in the 80s, but let's be honest, the 80s was dominated by Schwarzenegger and Stallone.
Right. And Van Damme and Seagal's movies in the 80s weren't really plot heavy, or or at least the plots weren't that great.
They were horrible.
That's the case for most action movies in the 80s, but they were pretty much driven by the action hero or whatever. 90s is when you started to get like more intricate plots.
Yeah, because the thing was, like, even though like movies like Commando and Rambo were freaking atrocious from a writing standpoint, you loved it because simple fact that Schwarzenegger and Stallone could carry the movie.
Right.
Now some of those earlier movies in the 80s with Van Damme and Seagal, you're like, But in the 90s, it started picking up a little bit. And a couple of good examples was one of my favorite ones from Van Damme was Hard Target with John Woo.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite Van Damme movies. He had a couple other ones like Nowhere to Run.
I'm glad you mentioned Nowhere to Run, because Nowhere to Run does not get nowhere near the love it should get.
That one was a well-written movie.
It was well-written. It was well acted. Van Damme showed some acting chops, and that's why I liked it, because it was kind of surprised me. And it was like it wasn't a. I think the problem is that obviously Van Damme's known for action, and there wasn't a whole lot of action in that movie.
It really wasn't.
But the action in the movie to me was moved the plot along. It wasn't just let's kick some guys' asses. It was just like good. It was point, it had a point every action scene. So that's why I think it doesn't get the love it deserves. I really like that movie. That's one of my favorite Van Damme movies. Yeah,
because it's a character driven movie. It's not like I need to beat the hell out you movie. It's it's actually a character driven piece. Actually,
I got teary eyed. I ain't gonna lie.
It was a couple parts in that movie. You were like, oh damn, I don't think he gonna make it.
Yeah.
It was just that good. Now
his friend and the whole I don't want to ruin the plot, but it's the whole friend aspect of it, and him trying to help him out, and and then like meeting the mother and their son. Was it Kieran Culkin?
Kieran Culkin, and it was Rosanna Arquette.
Rosanna Arquette was the love interest, and she was great in it. It was a well acted movie, even and by Van Damme as well. That's why I think it doesn't get the credit it deserves.
Yeah, I agree. Now another one of those action movies. Now this is probably going to be funny for a lot of people, but I had to bring in Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh yeah, Lethal Weapon 3 for sure.
That was my hands down. That's my hands down favorite Lethal Weapon. I know a lot of people like the one with Jet Li. No,
who like that one? No, I like Jet Li in it, but the movie itself was pretty bad. It was kind of
the movie itself was horrible. But Lethal Weapon 3 though, I like that one better than 2 and 1. I still go back and watch 3 every now and then.
Yeah, 3. I think 3 is the easiest one to like watch all the way through. Like it doesn't, like it still holds up better than the other 2. But I like 2 a lot because obviously you find out about his wife and stuff and what happened, and and you didn't see it coming, and I thought that was pretty cool that he did that. So, but my favorite's probably 3 as well.
And I think the thing that they got the reason why I like 3 so much is that Eric Clapton song they start off with.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Sting. I'm a huge Police fan, so I love that song.
Yeah, because it sets the mood from the get.
Oh boy. And plus, it opens up with a great action scene.
And plus, the one of the plot points of the movie was something that a lot of people didn't really want to talk about at the time, and I think they did a good job addressing it.
Yeah, I mean, they always did do that. They did it in 2, not so much in 1, but they definitely did address topics of the day with apartheid and whatnot in South Africa, part 2, and the racial aspect, gang violence and all that in part 3. So.
Now, as far as like the first half of the 90s, those are probably my favorite action ones. You got any other action ones that we not
oh man, you missing the big one. I mean, there's a few. I mean, we can mention the big ones like the Terminators and Terminator 2. But I think one you probably wouldn't mention is Point Break. I love that movie. Point Break is awesome, and it was Keanu not being goofy as hell, but actually him becoming an action star. Patrick Swayze was awesome in it. Gary Busey was awesome when he still has some damn sense.
Before he lost all of it.
Like I just love the whole style of it, the whole surfer aspect, and Johnny Utah, the former college quarterback who hurt his leg, became an FBI agent. I mean, it's just that kind of stuff only worked in those cool action movies. Yeah. And who was Kathleen Kennedy was the director. She's the one that did Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
She used to be married to James Cameron. She beat him that year for Best Picture. Avatar and the Hurt Locker. He wrote it though. James Cameron wrote it. He wrote Point Break. Okay. Yeah, and she directed it. He did another movie. He wrote another movie for her too. The one with Angela Bassett. And Ray Fiennes? One of the Fiennes brothers.
Joseph Fiennes?
Huh?
You mean Joseph Fiennes?
Maybe it was him. I had to look it up. But he wrote that too, and she directed that movie, and I thought it was really good. Really underrated. It was kind of like about virtual reality, because there was a lot of that. In the
virtuosity?
No. I'll find it. We'll just keep going.
Well, I will say this, people. If you don't know anything about Point Break, this is why you like Fast and the Furious.
They
did it first. Point Break was first.
They robbed him. Fast and the Furious definitely robbed Point Break's style.
Yeah,
it was all good.
Yeah, so I will give you that, and I did mention Terminator because I think Terminator is obvious. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is probably one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Oh man,
period.
It's my favorite action movie of all time.
It's the main reason why I'm like, stop trying to make Terminator movies, just reboot it, because they if you watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day, they fixed the entire thing. There is no way you can actually do a 3 or anything like that.
Yeah, it killed the sequel.
Watch that movie. There's no literal way to do it.
Yeah,
because they tied up every plot hole. Every plot hole.
Oh man.
James Cameron made sure every question you had got answered. So
all of them. Yeah, there was nowhere to go.
There was nowhere. That's why like 3 Rise of Machines made no sense. That's why.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good action movie, but the plot was no.
Because once again, if you go back and watch Judgment Day through to the end, you'll see that there's no literal way for them to make up an excuse for this to still happen. So that's why.
Oh, I found it.
What was it?
It's called Strange Days. Came out in 1995, so it's just at the edge of our first half. It's Ralph Fiennes, Angela Bassett.
I never saw that one.
You got to see it.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
It's awesome. Very underrated. And again, James Cameron wrote it, and Catherine Bigelow, his wife at the time, directed it. And they did that a couple times. Like I said, Point Break was the other time.
Oh, so, all right. Yeah. Now, I had to say this about my action movies from the first half of the 90s, man. There was one. There was a couple bad ones too. Now,
yeah, there's some bad ones in there.
this one
pleasures though. Guilty pleasures.
Yeah, this one took the cake though. Last Action Hero.
Oh boy,
that was so awful.
It's terrible, but it's so good to watch. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's one of those horrible movies that is everybody's like guilty pleasure, but everybody tells you how bad it is because it truly is that bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's and I remember the marketing they did for that. Like everybody had some. Burger King had some. McDonald's had something. There was commercials out the wazoo for it, and you're like, this is gonna be an awesome movie.
And a couple. Here's the thing that kills me though. A couple of tweaks, it would have been a great movie. Like if they just went too far with some stuff, the editing for one, geez.
Yeah,
that movie need to be edited about 30-40 minutes out of it, and that's one problem. And that whole, the cartoon cat thing, all that crazy stuff, it was just too many ideas. That's the problem. It had too many ideas in it. It needed to edit itself a little bit better.
Yeah, it could have used a better editor. And I think like the cartoon parts of it, they were trying to go for that whole, because back then
I get what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, like they were trying to go for that cool world, Who Framed Roger Rabbit type deal, and it don't work and stuff like that. It was so flat. Like the joke from the cat and the whole, it was just like, ugh. It just pulled you right out of it. And it was That's the movie that made me understand what pacing meant.
If you got 2 hours and 59 million minutes to watch a movie, I guess you can go ahead and watch that one. But
but I'm gonna warn you right now. If you're one of those people that like good pacing and all that, don't watch this movie.
No,
do not watch that movie. I don't want you coming back trying to find me. Don't watch that movie. You one of them people that are stickler for pacing.
Right. Because it's some really good ideas though.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out.
Horribly.
Yeah. Just didn't work out in the end.
Horribly. And now out of the first half, those were probably my favorite.
Oh boy, you're forgetting one. There's a bunch you're forgetting, but
yeah. I'm just trying to keep to my top.
I got you. But this is my tops.
Okay, go for it.
All right, we're not gonna spend too much time on it, but Total Recall. That's 1990. It was right on the edge. It feels like an 80s movie, but it's definitely 19.
That was 90. I thought that was 89.
Yeah, I know. I
no,
thought
RoboCop was 89.
RoboCop was earlier than that. RoboCop was like 87.
No, which one was 2? Was 2 89 then?
2 was 89, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what okay. I knew one of them was 89. So all right.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, because I think we talked about the RoboCop in our last.
Yeah, we did. Yo, we did.
Oh yeah. To me, this is like the epitome of the early 90s action, just blockbuster movie. This is a little movie called Demolition Man.
Oh, dude.
It is a perfect movie as far as I'm concerned. There's maybe one or two little things, like the whole, what's the comedian that's in it?
It was a couple of them because Dennis Leary was in it.
Dennis Leary, yeah. Like some of
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider, Rob Schneider was fine.
Yeah,
he didn't
annoy me.
Much. Right. Yeah. He was actually used pretty well in that movie.
Yeah.
Dennis Leary, he wasn't a problem. I just felt like his character, what they were trying to make him, he didn't feel that way. And
on top of that, the way Dennis Leary is.
Yeah, he likes to rant. Yeah, he does the same thing. He does that kind of like ranty, quick, snippy stuff.
Yeah, and he's an asshole.
Yeah, like I love Dennis Leary. Don't get me wrong, but it just for this movie, it didn't kind of work in some of the situations. So
it would have worked if they stayed like because the crux of the movie is like he from the past to the future. So if he would have been like back in the beginning of the movie, it would have worked. But when they went to the future and you see how the future is all set up, you're like, yeah, dude.
And it's just like you had to unthaw Wesley Snipes to kill Dennis Leary. Like,
yeah,
come on.
No, dude.
You could have got any one of those guys to do that.
You know something funny though?
But that's why the movie's great. Wesley Snipes is awesome in the movie. And obviously Stallone is too. Simon Phoenix.
But you want to know something funny about that movie though? Initially, it wasn't supposed to be Wesley Snipes. It was supposed to be Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
But they couldn't work out the scheduling because he was doing.
And that was probably the best thing that ever happened of all time.
Because they were doing, I think it was like Police Story 2 and Super Cop at the time, and he couldn't get over here.
Yeah, that was not a Jackie Chan movie. That
was not a Jackie Chan movie.
Not for him. That would have been bad.
Hey, Wesley Snipes, man, still some awesome fight sequences in there. Some awesome one-liners.
Character is just great.
Yeah, and Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, fell in love with Sandra Bullock.
When I fell in love with Sandra Bullock was that movie.
Yeah, I had a little crush on her after that movie.
Oh yeah, that and then The Net after that, and love some Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, So I that one I would give you that one. The Demolition Man, yeah, because that was a pretty that was a good movie, especially what they did with Taco Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, the Taco Bell stuff was hilarious.
Yeah.
The best product placement in a movie of all time.
Yeah, and
because it was a joke. It made it a joke out of it, and they made a really good joke out of it.
They made an awesome joke out of it.
That movie was great. All right, one more for early 90s. Because this one, again, this is one that seems like it's always overlooked for some reason, and I flipping love this movie. And it's the first time I saw Halle Berry. Mm-hmm. She was only in the movie for about 8 minutes, but it's called The Last Boy Scout. Please tell me you saw that.
Yes, dude. Oh. Yeah, I saw that.
I love The Last Boy Scout. It is Bruce Willis at his most grisly. Yeah. He doesn't give a shit about anything
or anyone.
He's just a beat up detective, and it's way better than like even his character in the Die Hard movies. Like it's even darker than that. And him and Damon Wayans. Oh yeah, he was. Oh man, it was great. Like
that movie does have some memorable one-liners in it too.
The one-liners are the best,
and some of them come in like really horrific scenes. But yeah,
yeah, it's brutal. It is a brutal, in-your-face action movie. It actually feels more like an '80s action movie than the '90s one. But
yeah, because they actually go into some stuff about pro athletes that kind of.
Billy Blanks. That was the first time I saw Billy Blanks.
Yep,
in the movie.
And I like that movie, but that's kind of one of my guilty pleasure movies.
Really?
Yeah,
because, I love it. The girl, his daughter with the potty mouth.
Yeah, because she got it straight from him.
She is great. I love that little girl. She was awesome.
Damon Wayans I liked and I didn't like. I kept going back and forth with him in the movie.
I don't want to say it could have been anybody that played that, any comedic dude, but he was a little whiny here and there. But I thought he was funny though. He was at least funny.
Yeah, so. he did what he had to do. Yeah, I would give him that. From that standpoint,
it's just a hard edge, in your face, relentless action movie. I love it. The pacing. I love Bruce Willis' character. I love his daughter. It's brutal, man. It's great.
Now I will say this because you did bring up one that I did not mention, and I should have mentioned this, and I don't know why I didn't, and I do apologize because this was '95. Mm-hmm. Die Hard with a Vengeance with Sam Jackson.
Oh boy,
and Bruce Willis.
Oh boy,
one of my favorite. Well, because look, with Die Hard, I'm kind of like
Die Hard 2 was 1990, but I didn't really.
I didn't like that one
much.
Yeah, I didn't care for that one too much.
It's the black sheep of the Die Hard movies.
Yeah. I mean, because to me, the Die Hard movies go like this. Every other one is good. So, like, one was off the chain. 2 was, 3 was, I love it. 4 was,
4 was okay. It's at least the best of the
I think 3's the best.
Modern ones.
Was on the modern ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 is way better than,
You think the one with him and his son in the Mother Russia?
Hell no. Hell no.
Awful.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go to the theater to see that. But I would have had my money back. I really would have.
Hey, Mother Russia, really?
Yeah, really.
Wow.
Really? That's why I like 3 so much, because 3 they knew what they were. They weren't gonna try to they weren't gonna sugarcoat PG-13 BS. And Sam Jackson had full access to his Sam Jacksonisms. They were on full display.
It was great. What was the name? Zeus?
Yeah, Zeus.
Hey, Zeus.
And
not hey Zeus. Do I look Spanish to you? Do I look Puerto Rican to you? Or something? He said, "Hey Zeus."
Yeah. With a very good Jeremy Irons.
Oh man, Jeremy Irons was great.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons. He was one of the villains. I didn't want him to get killed.
Yeah, like you just like him too much as a villain. I was
like, can y'all bring him back for another one?
Seriously,
because he did a good job, but you kind of knew he had to die. I mean, the stuff he had him doing.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched it. Like it's such a good movie. Like I said, the plot was better than your typical '80s action movie. And when the first time I saw it, now you can look and say, oh yeah, I didn't believe him. But the first time you see it, it's like you believe the whole riddle thing and his whole motivation. You believe it. So that's what makes it so much. Now it's not as good because you know what happens and how his whole character turns out, but it's still a great action movie.
It was a good little like thriller because like the way the setups of those riddles.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Like
head.
Yeah, but once you learn it, it doesn't hit home as well.
Yeah.
Once you see the movie a couple times. I've probably seen that movie easily 100 times. Easy.
I have to. But yeah, like the first time I went and watched it, I don't think I watched that one in the theater. I think I watched that one at home.
Yeah.
But the first couple times I watched it, I was like, dude, this dude is good.
Yeah. He was great. He was great.
Now, on the back half of the 90s, that's when we get to, a couple movies that.
Can I just give an honorable mention? I'm not going to say like all the movies, but
yeah.
I felt like Harrison Ford was kind of killing it too in the early 90s with like The Fugitive, and you don't really think of that as an action movie, but it is. Fugitive and Clear and
I put that in thriller, but okay,
yeah. But yeah, just an honorable mention to Harrison Ford. He was killing it.
Yeah, I can see that because that movie was actually good. I don't know why I don't view that as an action movie. I usually just view it as like
I can see where you don't see it that way. But
yeah, but now that I think about it, you actually are right. It is more of an action movie than a thriller.
Yeah,
but that's because
he is trying to find out who actually killed his wife, but there's a lot of like action set pieces and stuff.
And there's Tommy Lee Jones being Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
speaking of Tommy Lee Jones.
The incomparable,
Under Siege.
Yeah, Under Siege. Let's not talk about it because that's one of my. Okay, I'm gonna go on and tell y'all like in the back half. The back half of the 90s has a lot of, especially on the action movie side, has a lot of my guilty pleasure movies. These movies are horrible, but I just like them.
Yeah,
and I will start with Under Siege too.
Oh boy,
that movie's horrible. That movie's so.
It's a guilty pleasure. I get you. I totally watch it every time it's on.
Like Morty Chestnut suck.
He's awful.
He is horrible in that movie.
And the scared Negro in the action film goes to Chestnut. Oh my gosh.
Jeez, dude. Katherine Heigl, one of her first movies.
I forgot she was in that.
Yeah, she was in that. She's the niece.
Yep, that's right.
They got a cheesy villain in there, the general. That looks like he came from Police Academy.
I mean, he's. You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
The general. I guess he was a general in the general from. My gosh, Die Hard 2.
Oh, that dude.
He was comical. It's just like, oh look, he's almost Russian, not Russian, almost like German, with the white hair, and he's kind of Aryan, but not really.
But he's way too like uptight.
And I can't take that guy seriously because that's the guy from Silver Bullet. He's the werewolf.
Oh god,
you remember that movie? Corey Haim.
Yeah.
In the wheelchair, Silver Bullet. Oh, Gary Busey again. Gary Busey.
Like, dude. Look, I'm not telling anybody to go watch that movie because it's horrible. But for me, that's one of my guilty. Like a lot of the back half of the 90s action movies are my guilty pleasures. Another one that's horrible, Van Damme and Double Team.
Oh boy,
with Dennis Rodman.
Double Team. Oh my god.
I got it on DVD.
But it's a total guilty pleasure.
I know, dude, the movies. Dennis Rodman is, but see, they got like some of my favorite actors. They got Mickey Rourke.
Great cast.
They got a good cast, but that movie is so stupid. Basically,
that's not the one with Dane Cook, is it?
It was the one after that had Dane Cook.
That was Dane Cook and Rodman in the movie. That's what.
It was Simon Says.
Simon Says. Oh my god,
that was like 2000. We're gonna hit that one when we hit 2000. But the whole premise of this movie was basically like when you're a spy and you die, quote unquote, but they save your life. They can't let you come back into your real life, so they take you to this island where a bunch of these other spies that have supposedly died monitor the entire world and come up with solutions to like stop terrorism and stuff like that from in different parts of the world. Yeah. So Van Damme gets like he gets caught fighting his arch enemy or whatever. It's a classic setup where he goes to kill the arch enemy. The arch enemy's son gets killed by accident. And boom, there we go. So he gets he gets not kidnapped, but they take him to this island. Everybody thinks he's dead, and he finds out that his wife had a baby. And then he finds out that the terrorist that he supposedly tried to kill is now hunting his wife. So he has to break out of the supposedly unbreakable place, get off the unescapable island, which he does by doing some ridiculous bull crap that in real life wouldn't have worked.
No.
And he has to go team up underground because if he comes back, then, you know, the CIA, the NSA, they're going to have to kill him. So he has to team up with who else? Dennis Rodman, fresh off of the NBA championship.
Oh boy!
And that's when
to be an action star. Yeah, boy.
But I gotta give it. They got some good action sequences in there, and they got Jin Jin Yo, aka Clubfoot. He's like one of the better martial arts choreographers over in Hong Kong.
Oh, those fight scenes were awesome.
Yeah, the fight scenes were amazing. And even the ending with the fight in the Coliseum with the tigers, with
chiseled Mickey Rourke,
I'm like, it was a good fight. I'm like, I was digging the fight, and I'm just sitting there like, this movie is horrible if it wasn't for these fights.
Yeah, it's awful. Why did every like NBA star who was in a movie always had to have like some bad, you know, basketball pun in the damn movies they were in?
Yeah,
like Shaq with the free throws and steal.
Yeah.
It was.
We ain't even gonna talk about them Shaq movies.
Nope. Skipping right over those.
Yeah, we skipping right over those.
Sorry, Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq, you suck. But
oh my gosh.
That I think like, and I don't know about you, but like my latter half 95 to like 99 as far as action movies are concerned, for the most part, are guilty pleasures for me because there was something wrong with all of them. The only other one, well, there's two other ones that I would say that are not really guilty pleasures, but I understand why people don't like them. I just find them enjoyable. And one of them is it was in 95 or 96, and that's The Rock with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage.
The Rock, I believe, is 96.
Okay, 96. So 95 was Bad Boys, the original Bad Boys. That was another one that I enjoyed, but I like that more as a comedy as opposed to an action movie because that was Martin Lawrence just going.
I mean, it was an action movie. It was definitely like, you know, like Rush Hour.
Like that.
Is action movie, but I don't think of it as an action movie. It's comedy.
It's more of a comedy in its way. And the other one was another Van Damme movie from 95 called The Quest. A lot of people didn't like it, but I like it.
I think that's underrated ass movie right there.
Yeah, because like it actually told a good tight story, and it had one of my favorite Bonds in there.
I was gonna say Roger Moore.
Roger Moore, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
He was older then, but he was still playing like
still cool
smooth talking. He was a smooth talking con man, and you fell for that stuff he was saying.
Yeah,
like the stuff he did to Van Damme was messed up. But he always talked his way out of it.
Oh man!
Put that British accent on, he talked his way out of everything.
Yeah, it had that, you know, almost like not kickboxer.
Enter the Dragon kind of.
Enter the Dragon / Kumite. What's the other Van Damme movie? Bloodsport. Right? It had that kind of thing going on, but I thought it was much better than those movies. So. Yeah.
Especially with the main fighting villain, the guy from the Mongol. That big cornbread eating.
Cornbread.
Oh, dude, that dude was a monstrosity, dude.
Yes.
But you know
that was the best thing about those 80s to 90s action movies. You know, there was going to be like a fight with the big guy, the henchman guy, before you get to the boss. It was like a video game. You know, it was like you got to fight the big dude. You got to fight Sagat before you get to M. Bison. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so cool.
And in The Quest, that's some of the more realistic fights that have happened I've seen on screen, because like a lot of times you get these fights in these action movies, and I'm gonna say this, and I know people are gonna get mad at me for saying this because I know this series was messed up, but you cannot blame the fighting for the series being messed up. It had other issues, and that was Iron Fist. Yeah, people get mad at Iron Fist for the fight, saying the fights were boring. No, those fights were realistic. That's how real fights go.
Yeah.
You don't do all the damn flipping and all that in a real.
That was fun. I had no problem with the fights themselves. It's just your boy wasn't believable fighting.
Yeah, at all.
That's the problem. That was the main problem.
But as far as like, but like with the Quest, that if you go back and watch the Quest, those fights are set up like that. Those actors that are doing those fight scenes, those are not really actors. Those are fighters.
Right.
Those are real fighters.
Mm-hmm.
They know their specific style that they're using, and they know it well.
Yeah. Actually, I know what that's like because it fell through. But a movie I was shooting last year, I had MMA fighters in it. There was a bunch of MMA fighters in it, and it's raw. Like it is, pretty good stuff. I mean, it's not, you got to choreograph it to some degree, obviously, but it's more raw than the scripted stuff.
Yeah, and I keep trying to tell people, I'm like, look, I know y'all think that all the flips and all that beautiful stuff is how a real fight would go. No, it don't.
Yeah, and that was kind of that stuff, the wire work and all that stuff. That was always around, but it didn't get popular in the West, I don't think, until like the mid 90s.
Yeah, after Quentin Tarantino brought over like Iron Monkey and Tai Chi Master and all that. Yeah.
Like, I mean, as a kid, I used to watch those movies all the time, but it wasn't like you didn't see like Western action movies using that stuff until then.
Way later, yeah. So those were a few of mine, like in that latter half. Now
I got to drop a couple of more honorable mentions because we just
because I know there's one you probably gonna mention that I didn't mention, but I'm leaving that for you so you can mention it.
We got Wesley Snipes with Passenger 57. I mean, that's just
that was one of them.
And we talked about Keanu and didn't mention Speed. Like what? Like that was the quintessential action movie.
That was with a lot of good one-liners, by the way.
Great one-liners, great action set pieces, and
a deranged Dennis Hopper.
He was
redeeming himself from that horrible atrocity called Super Mario Brothers.
We don't talk about that. But this is the one because it ties into me going to film school and my film school. There's this guy named Robert Rodriguez who made this movie for basically $6,000 called El Mariachi, which put him on the map. And then he got money after that because it was so good to do basically the sequel to that, which was Desperado. I mean, I love Desperado. It's one of my favorite action movies. Selma Hayek, first time I saw her. Yeah.
Been in love ever since.
Oh boy. Antonio Banderas was a badass. It was a great movie. And like I said, Robert Rodriguez wrote this book called what was it called? What was the name of it? Rebel Without a Crew. And I read that thing like it was the Bible because it basically showed how he made the movie by himself using the actors to be part of the crew, and it was just great. And so it gave me the confidence to do the stuff myself too. So
nice,
big stuff there. But the thing, because we're moving into the later half of the 90s here, the thing that changed basically the 90s action movie, we talked about it before we got on, was CGI. CGI pretty much ruined action movies. And it started to happen mid 90s. And like we said earlier, when the smaller studios could afford CGI, that's when action movies started to get whack. So, but there were some early on good ones since we're in the mid to late 90s. One of my favorites, and it's Bruce Willis again. But my genre is science fiction, fantasy. Love it, and it's an action movie set in that area. The Fifth Element. Love that movie. And that is my first pick.
With possibly one of the greatest cameos / I don't think he was really supposed to be that long in the movie. We talked about Rush Hour. Chris Tucker. I don't think he was supposed to be in that. I don't think he was supposed to stay that long in the movie. They just loved him too much.
Ruby Rod. Oh my God. Ruby Rod. That was great. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be. I don't think it was supposed to be him at first. I think Friday is basically the movie that got him that movie.
Yeah.
Because they had somebody else in mind at the time, some smaller comedian, and they grew that part out of him because of, he's the one that came up with the outfits, believe it or not, the crazy outfits and the crazy hair. That was all his idea. So yeah. way better because of him. But I mean, Jurassic Park is earlier 90s. It was like 93. But for me, it wasn't really an action movie. It's probably listed as an action film, but it was kind of a spectacle blockbuster.
The first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
The second one was an action movie and was awful.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like,
Yeah.
The second one was god awful.
Yeah, Lost World. That was garbage. I just see that girl doing gymnastics, kicking the raptor in the face, and I just want to shoot myself. It's just like, oh, look at that perfectly placed pole for her to do her gymnastic stuff. It was ridiculous.
Man, that was
yeah. That's people love Steven Spielberg. That was one of his not one of his good movies. Along with the Indiana Jones movie that should have never been made.
Oh yeah, that
Kingdom of the Crystal Crap. Yeah, that movie. So those are two bad blemishes on Steven Spielberg's otherwise great track record.
I mean, and he had such a impeccable track record too.
Oh man, he let George Lucas talk him into that crap. Yeah.
I don't even understand how that happened, but
yeah, I guess from what I seen documentaries behind the scenes or whatever, George Lucas was just pestering him. He just said screw it. He gave in.
God damn it, George! All right, fine.
Basically, that's basically what happened. So,
I'm only doing this one time. We're not redoing this draft. I'm
gonna kill myself because I forgot. I can't believe I forgot this movie because it is my favorite movie of all time. Mm-hmm. And it's earlier 90s, it's mid 90s, and it's The Crow, Brandon Lee.
Yeah, man.
How can I forget that one? That movie is the reason I went to film school. So, and every movie I make, basically, I tie back to that movie. I try to emulate something from that movie.
Can I take a few minutes just to get mad at Hollywood for a second?
Please do.
Stop trying to damn remake this movie.
No, stop it. Just stop.
The first one was a masterpiece. We lost a very good actor in the process. Mm-hmm. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. It's his movie. It's Brandon Lee.
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it. Like, I mean, there's nothing there to be remade. You can't remake that era. You can't, like, the whole goth thing. Like,
it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
And now I don't have a problem if you want to put it in IMAX for a week. Fine.
Yeah, I'll go to the movies and watch it. Yeah.
But this whole idea of, well, we're gonna get Luke Evans, or we're gonna get who was it, Jake Gyllenhaal, or we're gonna get no, don't do the stop.
There's nobody. I can't think of anybody right now who would fit The Crow as good as Brandon Lee did. That was him. That movie, that comic book was made for him before he knew about it. That is him. And he just needs to be left alone.
Perfectly. And I don't know why in the world Hollywood want to do this. I'm like, do not do this.
No, I mean,
you know what? I will give you this. Hollywood, remake Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon, but leave this alone.
Yeah, leave The Crow alone.
Leave The Crow alone. Remake Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. We'll call it even.
It is perfect the way it is. Can you make better CG? Of course.
Yes.
But they had like a $12 million. I mean, it was a tiny budget, $13 million budget.
But it was practical.
But it was practical, and they had some, not CGI, but compositing. They had some digital shots that don't hold up. But so what? Leave it alone.
And the story was good. Tony Todd scared the hell out of me.
Tony Todd was perfect. Ernie Hudson was perfect casting. The little girl, I don't know her name. She was
she was awesome. Bai Ling was
yes. Weird. Michael Wincott. I mean, that cast is unbelievable.
Just leave it alone, man.
What's his name from the Warriors? I can't think of his name right now. Perfect. Like, it was a perfect movie. Leave it alone.
Just please leave it alone. I mean, look, I know y'all into this whole
don't remake The Godfather and don't remake The Crow.
Yeah, those are off limits.
Off limits.
Please. I mean, hell, I gave up on Highlander. Y'all can do that, but leave
Highlander. I can roll with Highlander.
Yeah, Highlander.
I like the movies a lot, and then I love the show.
Yeah, so
you can redo that.
Can I just have my Crow, please?
Yeah, just
let me have that. Y'all can. You know what? Remake it when I'm dead.
I mean all the sequels have been atrocious.
Yes. Even
Atrocious.
that TV show, that god awful TV show they tried to do.
Oh my god, the TV show. I mean, Mark Dacascos.
I'm like, really, guy? Really,
He looked so silly in that makeup. It was awful.
Yeah. So that being said, now I want to make sure I hit like one of the other big things of the 90s that I actually loved. The comedies.
Oh, the comedies.
Because we actually got some good comedies, some good black cast movies too. But they kind of fall into the comedy ones for me anyway. Like, for instance, the house party movies.
Oh man.
The house party movies, because Kid and Play from like, what was it, 90 to like 93?
Like 90, 93, 94.
Yeah, because not only did they have the house party movies, they had, what was it, Class Act.
Yeah, and that was the first time I saw like Martin Lawrence. Well, not really, because I saw him in What's Happening Now.
Yeah, but I think like house party
lasted for a few episodes.
Wasn't house party where everybody noticed them?
Yeah, it was him and Gina. She was in that too.
Yeah, she was in that too. Yeah. And you know, those kind of movies now, those were kind of like come on, because like the house
Tommy was in Class Act.
Yeah, Tommy was in Class Act. They had
Rest in peace, Tommy.
Yeah, they had a lot of good casting in those black cast movies. Like, and Eddie Murphy in the first half of the 90s was still killing it. Distinguished Gentleman, one of my favorite comedies.
I love Distinguished Gentleman.
Even though they
Boomerang
at Washington, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. And it's believable.
It's very.
I didn't believe it back then, but you can believe that would happen today.
I went home last time I was home, because we got it on DVD from my mom because it's one of her favorite movies. I watched it when I was at home. And I'm like, dude, this still holds up to this day.
Still holds up.
I'm like, if you watch that now, you're like, yeah, I don't trust. You will never trust another politician as long as
it's scary. It's scary how accurate it is.
Yeah, it's real scary. But that one, there was just a lot.
I said Boomerang. You heard me? I said Boomerang.
Yeah, Boomerang. Yeah.
Again, my girl Halle Berry. Oh God.
Can we just agree on one thing about Boomerang? It is that movie scared me from older women, because that movie made me realize that older women are just as horny as young people. And like Eartha Kitt in that movie, she scared the hell out of me, man.
I'm gonna tell you, for a good 3 years after that movie came out, I was sure I was gonna be an ad exec. Like I wanted to be Eddie Murphy in that movie so bad. I was like, I got to be him. That's who I want to be.
Until you find out your boss is Eartha Kitt.
Yeah, and then the Eartha Kitt part was like, I don't know about that part.
I don't know about all that.
And then what's her name? Grace Jones, crazy behind. I was like, oh no.
Like, no, I don't think I'm ready for this.
She was hilarious in that movie, though.
Yeah. I mean, their parts were funny, but they were playing, like, especially Eartha Kitt's character. Yeah. She was playing this ultra horny.
Darling.
Yeah. She was like horny the whole movie, and you'd be like, dude, please don't. Please don't.
No.
Like, don't, dude.
That's
like,
another movie I watched probably over 100 times easy. I've seen that movie. I know it word for word. I mean, David Allen Greer and Martin Lawrence were hilarious as his friends in it. It was just like.
Now, I will say this. This is the first movie where the soundtrack and the movie were actually good.
I was just about to say the sound. Because those are two of my top soundtracks for movies. Was The Crow, because it was a perfect soundtrack for the movie. It was perfect. And Boomerang soundtrack. Every song in that is a classic to me. R&B, beautiful. It was perfect for the movie.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you listen to that Boomerang soundtrack too much, you're gonna wind up with
making babies.
Yeah,
you making babies at that soundtrack.
I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all married people that's trying to have married couples that want to have some babies. Hey, pop in that Boomerang soundtrack. Somebody get pregnant tonight
again. Here I go. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of music. Just play it. I don't, but I'm not feeling that. Just play it and make sure them kids ain't in the house.
Right. I used to listen to that on the school bus. I had a little, back in the days when you had a tape recorder, a little tape player.
Yeah, had that Sony Walkman.
Yeah. But this one had it had an internal speaker. So I didn't have to hook up, so the whole bus could hear it. It was like, man, you got to play that Boomerang. I'm like, that takes me back. Oh man,
they used to play
my bus ride was like an hour long, because we used to get shipped. It was kind of like a desegregation thing. So, so basically they took all the black kids from the neighborhood and shipped them off to like, Kathmandu. And so that way I was the only black kid in the class. You know, that was desegregation, having one black dude in the class. So yeah, good stuff.
I remember they used to actually play that soundtrack at school dances.
Oh yeah, that was a great soundtrack, man.
And wonder why there was a teen pregnancy problem.
I think that soundtrack sold more than the damn movie did.
Probably, I think it did.
Yeah.
Because that Boys II Men song was on it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. What's her name? Tony Braxton.
Yeah,
Love
Tony
should have brought you home.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And that part of the movie was actually part of the
Yeah, that was part of the plot.
Yeah.
Like that was so good. It's like they wrote the songs after reading the script.
Yeah.
It was
you know
perfect.
what? That soundtrack reminded me more of, remember the blaxploitation movies where they used to like what's happening during the
Yeah, exactly. It was very black exploitation. That was great. Yeah, it's a good call. Good call. I never thought of that.
Yeah, because it was like blaxploitation soundtracks will tell you what happened during the movie. Like if you get a soundtrack, you don't need to go watch the movie.
You can sit there with your eyes closed and know what's going on in the whole movie.
Yeah, basically. But you know, the Boomerang soundtrack actually had like songs that went with the plot, and they were placed in the movie.
Mm.
They were all placed in the movie, like at the appropriate time. They needed to be in there too. So
it's another perfect movie.
Yeah.
Plot wise, funny as hell, just perfect pacing. Like the movie is as long as it needs to be, and you're out of there and you're entertained as hell.
Yeah, especially John Witherspoon as David Alan Grier's dad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, that was.
Oh my, he was
so messed up.
bang bang bang.
I'm talking about they was in the bathroom, like,
oh my God,
loud as hell, dude. That
you ain't married me because of my cooking.
Yeah, I'm like, God dang, like, man, you had to feel for him a little bit.
Yeah,
you're like, bruh, everybody in there trying to eat, and you hear them boning in the bathroom. You
in the bathroom for an hour. What they doing in there? They in there hitting it. They in there smoking a joint in the bathroom. No,
and you hear it because you hear the boom, 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 boom. I'm like, wow, dude.
You come out the bathroom all sweating. Ooh, what's for dessert?
Yeah.
This is a great movie, man.
Yeah.
I know that movie word for word too.
Yeah, that one. Now another one that we already kind of halfway discussed, Friday. Now Friday, yeah. Friday was 95, and that was the lead off to a good few years of movies to me.
Yeah. I mean, Friday was like, I got really surprised. A dude named Ice Cube wrote that. I was like, whoa, this dude is hella talented. Perfect.
It was funny. It was what it needed to be, and all of it took place on a porch on a day.
On one day, on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. Nobody, that's a scary thing to try to do. Like, I've only seen maybe 4 movies that are shot in a day, or it's supposed to be, in the day. Obviously they weren't shot in a day, but it was supposed to be like the contents of a day. Dog Day Afternoon, which is a classic.
Yeah,
Al Pacino. What's the movie? Where they kidnapped the kid. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of it. Alpha Dog. Dog. Yeah, it's over a day, right? Maybe it's a weekend. I'll take that one back.
Weekend, but like most of it happens in a day. Most of it happens in a day.
But that's not an easy thing to do. To write it 90-page script, 100-page script, and base it in one day. I mean, that's rough.
With a hell of a lot of cameos in it.
Right, mad cameos.
Which brings me to one of my other favorite movies. It's another Eddie Murphy movie, Harlem Nights.
Oh boy.
I think it was 91. I think it was.
That was 90, 91. I can't remember. It's one of those.
That had so many black comedians in it.
Oh my goodness. Charlie Murphy, rest in peace.
Yeah. There was so many black comedians in that movie. I don't know how they got on there, but it worked. And all of them had lines.
Miss Touched by an Angel herself.
Yeah, straight up cussing.
Cussing? She wasn't no angel in that movie.
Yeah. I'm like, but you know what? It worked, and possibly one of my most memorable Arsenio Hall moments.
Shot me in my pinky toe.
Quick! You're my brother. I'll kill you.
And they both shooting Tommy guns, and then one dude shooting a little pea shooter.
Yeah.
Pat. Put that shit out. Don't you shoot that little shit no more.
He's only in there for that scene, but it was hilarious.
I think he had one other scene, a little tiny scene, but
that one, that is the one.
That's the one. Harlem Nights.
Yeah. So I mean,
my wife loves Eddie Murphy. She never saw that movie. I showed it to her. She is in love. She loves it.
I'm finna say because I know because I had to watch that movie like 5 times straight because
she's like, I can't believe I never seen this. I never even heard of it. I was like, this is a movie.
This is a classic.
Yeah.
But and then we kind of have to talk a little bit about the black cast movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now the one thing that a lot of people kind of like about the 90s, I don't really like this about the 90s, the hood movies. We had Boys in the Hood. I liked.
Boys in the Hood was good. Yeah.
Minister Society. I didn't care for.
It didn't end. It was going somewhere and it never got there. It's just like that's whack.
Dead Presidents. I couldn't stand.
I hated the ending too. That was the same dudes. Them Isley brothers. I almost called them.
Yeah. The
Hughes brothers. They just don't know how to end a movie, man.
Yeah. I just didn't get the appeal. Sugar Hill. Didn't really care for that either.
Well, Chris Tucker was in that acting the fool. So
and then like this is the one.
Sugar Hill, Sugar Hill was like I like the style of it. It had that kind of noir because I love noir filmmaking. That was the only I liked the style of it, but the movie sucked.
This movie is probably not gonna get me any cool points with people. I'm probably gonna lose a lot of cool points for saying I don't like this movie. I ain't like New Jack City. Love the soundtrack. Did not like the movie.
New Jack City's not that good of a movie. It's I think black people were just happy to have a Tony Montana. It's just like, oh, he's the Tony Montana for the hood, basically. And it was so obvious that they ripped off Scarface.
Oh, dude, especially if you watch Scarface.
Yeah. They ripped Scarface to shreds, and they used a lot of his stuff in there. The world is mine. He even says that a couple times. They have the big. Does he have a big Scarface picture or something in the movie? I can't remember.
He's in the bedroom when he's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So except because it's the same story, just wrapped in the hood. So
New York instead of Miami.
Right.
I mean, but I never really did like that movie. Chris Rock does not like that movie.
Oh, he does? Yeah, because he plays Pookie.
Don't bring it around Chris Rock.
It's just like, it was just weird. It was weird because it was like Ice-T playing a cop after Cop Killer.
After Cop Killer.
It was just a strange movie.
Now, I didn't like that, but there was a couple movies that Mario Van Peebles did afterward that I liked.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't in that movie enough. That was the problem.
Yeah.
But he should have been
in the movie.
Ice-T.
Yeah.
In that movie. Yeah. It would have made for a way better movie.
It would have made more sense.
His acting was terrible. He was he
was
terrible.
Back when Ice-T first started acting. So he wasn't like Ice-T is actually not a bad actor.
He's a good actor, but he wasn't in that movie.
Not in that movie, no. But Mario Van Peebles goes on to do one of my favorite movies of his, and it's a Western, The Posse.
Oh, Posse.
I love that movie.
That's classic there.
That's one of my favorite Westerns, actually. That one along with Unforgiven and The Quick and the Dead.
Thank you for The Quick and the Dead. That movie does not get enough love.
It don't, but I understand why. I mean, most people, you don't know what Western they remember from the early night. It's Unforgiven. They don't remember.
Yeah,
they don't remember Quick and the Dead.
But that movie is so cool. Like it's just it's a really good Western. It's a nice revenge plot. You love those revenge plots.
And it's basically a showdown between some of the best actors of that time.
Again, it's almost like a blood sport. It's a blood sport plot.
With guns.
It was perfect.
And Sharon Stone
was looking so damn good in that movie.
Anytime you want to, girl.
Oh my gosh.
What? But but no, that was just like a couple things. It was a couple of those things like that. Like the black cast movies that I enjoyed were like the comedies.
Yeah, the comedies mostly.
I didn't really care for the hood movies because I think
me neither.
It wasn't that they were bad movies. I understood why they needed to be made, but at the same time, it didn't show black people in a particularly
not in a good light.
Not in a good light. And
like, that was all we was about. Like, come on.
It hurt more than
New Jersey Drive and shit.
Yeah, it hurt more than
yeah, it didn't help us at all. Like,
I mean, it would like.
But we can't blame it because that's all Hollywood would let us do at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanted Wesley Snipes or Will Smith, you know, that's all they pretty much gave us.
Yeah.
So I can't blame anybody who did those movies or were in those movies because you got to make your money, man. So
yeah. And look, I understand that, you know, that, but it was just one of those situations that I never did like them because of that fact.
Yeah, and those stupid high school. There was a lot of high school, you know, hood movies. Like, what is it? What's the biggest one? Tom Berenger.
The Substitute. Oh my God,
dude,
dude. Now that was a guilty pleasure. The first one was a guilty pleasure because
I mean, the Substitute was It's just there was some cheesy stuff in it. You know?
I'm gonna tell you like this. I like Tom Berenger as an actor.
Oh, I like Tom Berenger. Yeah,
if he would have came to a hood movie, they would have killed him.
I actually believed him in that movie, though. I believed his character.
I believed in the first part of when he first had to fight the thugs.
Yeah,
the gangbangers. He beat the gangbangers, but they would have came back with them.
That movie fell off the rails when you had Jennifer Lopez ex-husband as one of the big villains in that movie. What's his name?
You talking about the Spanish dude?
The singer, yeah. I can't remember his name, but he was a drug dealer in the movie. I'm like, come on, I don't believe that.
Nobody believe that shit. Then it was Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah. Oh man.
This soundtrack. Horrible movie.
The movie was terrible.
Yeah.
Nobody would say it, but it was bad. It was a bad movie.
No, that was a great movie. Have you watched it?
Based on a true story, but I like to talk to those people who were supposed to be the real people, and I don't think they would tell me it went down like that.
No, I don't think it would either.
Yeah, it was cheesy garbage, man. And I like the fact that there was that movie that made fun of those movies. The parody. What's it called? High School High.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
I love High School High because it made fun of those movies because it was an influx of them.
So much fun of those movies.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And
was that John Lovitz?
Yeah, John Lovitz.
And Tia Carrera was. Oh my gosh, she was fine. Oh my god,
she still is, dude.
Yes, she still. I'm just saying the movie. Oh my god, Tia.
Yeah, Lord bless her. But yeah, those kind of movies, we had a lot of those in the 90s, but. You just be like, okay, can I get to the next good movie that's gonna come out? Because this is some horrible bull crap.
And I love the fact that we didn't have a lot of people. We had Will Smith was doing his thing towards the mid to late 90s, but we had Wesley Snipes, and I think that's why we give New Jack City a pass because like at least the brother is leading a film, and it's a big film. It did really well. And
it did well enough for him to get like the Passenger
57, Boiling Point.
What is it?
I love Boiling
Rising Sun.
You brought up Boiling Point. Why you do that to me?
I had to, man. Rising Sun was another one that he was good in.
Rising Sun with Tia Carrera.
Yeah, and Sean Connery.
I love that movie.
Can we just say Sean Connery was the shit in the 90s?
Sean Connery was a man. I was gonna say we forgot about him in Hunt for Red October and
he was off the chain as King Arthur in First Night.
Like Dragon. What was it? He was the Dragon and Dragonheart.
Yep.
Sean Connery was killing it in the 90s, man.
Yeah, dude, like. The way because he has complete mastery of the screen. Mm-hmm. You are on. Your eyes are always on him.
Every scene he's in. It's just
he makes other actors look stupid. That's why I kind of feel bad for like subpar actors when they have to be on screen with him because he's like.
I thought. Since we still talking about Sean Connery, that movie where he was a writer,
Finding Forrester.
I love that movie.
Him and Rob, was that 99?
That was actually 2000, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's past we'll cover that when we go 2000s.
It's past our era, yeah.
But that movie was actually probably because that's one of his last ones he did before he retired. But that movie was awesome. Yeah.
We know what movie he retired on. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
What pushed his retirement?
What pushed it to happen earlier than he wanted it to. But that movie. Because him and Rob Brown at the time, they did an excellent job. I had to give my props to Rob Brown because he was actually able to hold. It was 2 scenes in that movie where he held toe to toe with Sean Connery. I'm like, bro, I give you props for that.
Oh man, yeah, he was. Yeah,
There's people that can't do that.
what happened to him? Like I thought he was gonna be like a big star.
Well, he started. Well, you know what happened to him? They typecast him as
Hollywood happened to him. That's what happened. Yeah.
No, they typecast him as an athlete.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Hollywood had
in every high school movie.
Yeah.
And now I think he's on
a TV show or something. I saw him recently.
Yeah, he's on Blind Spot.
Okay, yeah, I was like, oh, good, he's still doing his thing at least.
I mean, he's working, but like he's doing the TV side.
Yeah, I always liked him. I thought he was a good actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor actually. Mm-hmm. But the 90s was a lot of hit and miss and a lot of guilty pleasure.
Can we just touch on the fact, like I said, there was a decline in the 90s. It was kind of sad. First of all, our boy Schwarzenegger went to a decline, a sharp decline in the 90s.
Because he tried to go comedy.
Starting with, Junior. And Kindergarten Cop was fine. I thought that was fine.
Kindergarten Cop was all right.
Yeah. But then there was like Eraser.
Yeah.
Ooh, Eraser was not good.
Yeah, boy, that was a bad movie. True Lies was okay.
True Lies was awesome. That was his last great film, I thought. I love True Lies. Cameron be doing his thing, you know.
Well, I did kind of like the whole Crimson Jihad thing. That was
Crimson Jihad, the dude, it was funny.
It was funny, dude.
It was great action. It was funny.
I thought, because there was no way.
Jamie Lee Curtis looked so good in that movie, boy.
If that dude was a terrorist, I'd laugh at him. But
Jamie Lee Curtis looking so good in that movie, boy.
Yeah, that strip.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was a young man watching that. And
I'm glad I'm not on set. Sometimes I'm just glad I'm not on set.
Oh my gosh. She looked at damn bedpost. I felt like
I'd be in trouble with HR if I was on set.
Oh my god. I didn't know she was that fine. Like, until I saw that movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, so Curtis,
but he, like I said, Eraser, and then oh gosh, Batman and Robin. I had to do
talk about the Joel Schumacher movies.
The first one wasn't too bad. It was, it was fine. I thought it was okay.
Jim Carrey carried it.
Yeah, that's what I know. Jim Carrey carried it. I didn't mind Val Kilmer as Batman. I think I would have liked him to stay for Batman and Robin because George Clooney was terrible casting.
Yeah, it was
awful. It was just awful casting. I don't know what happened with Val Kilmer. Maybe he wanted more money.
Maybe
that's usually what happens. That
I would say this: Val Kilmer was a more believable one than
he was definitely more believable than Mr. ER.
Yeah, he was.
And there's nothing wrong with George Clooney. George Clooney's a great actor. He just was not Batman.
No, he's not Batman.
No, he's not Bruce Wayne at all. So
at all.
And he said it. He said it in the interview. He was like, I was poorly cast. That was poor casting. I took the job obviously because I wanted to go into Hollywood and be in movies because he was still doing the TV show at the time.
Yeah. And so you had to take what you could get.
You got to take what you can get, right? So, but yeah, the decline happened for a lot of our favorite. Stallone, it happened for him. Yeah. Judge Dredd, dreadful. Oh. Dreadful.
That's not even a guilty pleasure, man. I just hate that movie.
Yeah, The Professional was it? No, it wasn't Professional.
The Professional was with Jean Reno.
It was Assassins. Assassins. It started to slide. In Assassins. I still kind of liked Assassins. Yeah, because Julianne Moore, maybe. Yeah,
Julianne Moore and
Antonio Banderas was good in it.
Antonio Banderas, yeah.
But that was when he started to slide for me. And then there was that movie with Sharon Stone. Oh God.
Yeah, that was just.
What was that called?
Bullshit. I mean,
when he was James Woods was awesome in that though.
Yeah, James Woods was the reason to watch it, but it was
Eric Roberts was terrible casting.
It was obvious he couldn't carry it by himself.
Yeah, why did they cast Eric Roberts as that dude's son? He was awful.
I don't know. Yeah, I think they cast him so he could die. I mean,
he was terrible. He didn't believe him as the guy's son, Mateo. You don't really know damn Mateo.
Yeah. Looks like an Eric.
Right, he was Eric.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, Stallone started to slide. Copland was awesome, but that was a more acting movie.
Yeah, that wasn't an action. Yeah, that
wasn't an action movie. Yeah. And like I said, the CG stuff is when it started to decline big time. Action movies did as a whole.
Now there is one last thing that we have to talk about before we get out of here about the 90s.
What's up?
That is the unmitigated truth that Disney ran the summer from
Disney.
90 to 99.
Disney, the stupidest thing that George Lucas ever did, and the best thing that Disney ever did was buy Pixar. George Lucas sold it.
Yep.
And Disney bought it, and boy,
billions of dollars later,
billions and billions of dollars later, he's still doing their thing.
But yeah, Disney. If you came out in May and you tried to go up against a Disney movie, you must have been smoking some serious.
Yeah. It was Toy Story was like what 95, 94?
Toy Story 95, but I'm talking about like
I was saying I want to mesh that with the fact that Disney animated films, just hand drawn stuff like The Lion King, all that stuff was just amazing.
And this was like year after year.
Yeah,
because it started with Little Mermaid in '89, then it went to Beauty and the Beast in '91, Aladdin in '92, Lion King in '94.
It's not just one of my favorite Disney movies. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Lion King.
Like dude, it was like it wasn't just one. It was hit after hit after hit after hit.
Every year it seemed like they were dropping a hit.
From 90 to 99.
Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan, Mulan.
They were killing it.
And then on top of that, right after that, they hit you with Toy Story in 95.
Yeah, Toy Story, which blew everything out of the water. It was like, what? A completely CGI movie? Like, and I just don't understand George Lucas. That was that was one of the dumbest movies he ever made.
And then he turned around and stole Star Wars to him in 2000.
What do you like? Star Wars, I didn't mind as much because he just didn't know what he was doing with it after a while.
Yeah,
but like they were just getting started. They pitched to him. They were like, "We want to do all CGI movies," and he just didn't think that was a good idea. Dummy, dumb. And there was a little section of Lucas. What is it? Lucasfilm or LucasArts?
Lucasfilm. Yeah.
They were the I can't. Well, see, the guy who did created Photoshop, all those guys were there, like in Pixar at the time, and he went off and made Photoshop and made billions by his damn self. And then like,
wasn't it true? Like back then, Lucas was still like loaning out ILM to do like.
Yeah, ILM was still. Yeah,
so he was probably still getting money. That's probably why he didn't care.
Yeah.
Okay,
but still, like. Like, and it's funny because the dude that made Photoshop, or one of the people that made Photoshop, he's the one that pitched Rogue One, the story.
Wow, really?
Yeah. He pitched Rogue One back in the day to George Lucas, and George was, I don't really want to do that. But he came after he sold it to Disney. He told, I think his name's John Knoll. He pitched it again to Disney, and Disney liked it, obviously. And
Disney was like, we'll
do that.
Mickey was like, I'll make that money.
Yeah, we want to make a movie every year, so why as well make that money. So
yeah, we got Marvel making money.
I'm a nerd about this stuff. Like I read and watch all the like I love director commentaries and behind the scenes stuff. I don't buy a DVD if it doesn't have that stuff.
Yeah, most of the DVDs that I get that I do buy now, I buy them so I can see the extras. Yeah,
I gotta have extra. There's got to be a commentary. I will not buy your DVD Blu-ray without a commentary.
Yeah,
and
I completely agree. It's nice to like go through and see what it took to make it and like how they did certain stuff. So yeah,
that was me being an early filmmaker. I didn't know it at the time. I just love that stuff, and I used to watch it all the time. Still do. So.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, people, the 90s was a weird time.
It was the peak of action movies, as far as I'm concerned. We still get a couple here and there. We got, the John Wicks and the Wanted was awesome when it came out. There's scattered movies, but consistency of great action films throughout a decade, we haven't had that.
Not for a while, because we don't really have a real alpha male.
No
hero anymore.
Nobody, Tom Cruise is kind of the last guy that is like the guy. He carries a movie, his name being top bill, but that didn't help The Mummy. So
at all,
so maybe that's not happening for him anymore either. So he's kind of the last guy. Will Smith did that for a while. He was the 100 million guy, for a while.
Yeah.
And he fell off. So.
But that's the thing. I mean, like, And plus, nowadays, let's just be honest with this PC world, man. There ain't no way in the world we ever gonna get that back.
No, and people just download everything. Nobody go to the movie.
Yeah.
You know, people be downloading everything.
The way Netflix movies are, you might as well just go on because some of them Netflix movies are better than theater movies.
Another thing, you got Netflix competing.
Yeah,
but Netflix still, to me, at least as far as I can see, Netflix takes way more chances with movies the way movies used to do in the theater. Like Netflix does that stuff, on their service, and that's why they're better.
Yeah,
it's not rocket science. The problem is we have these studios that only cater to the big blockbuster. It's the same thing in video games. If it's not a blockbuster, it is hard to get that thing made.
Yeah, we don't want to do it.
Yeah, we don't want to do it. So it's Hollywood's own fault. That Netflix and stuff like that, on demand stuff is better than people, and people don't want to go to the movies as much unless it's a spectacle film. People don't go to the movies to see a drama anymore or a comedy even, unless it's just like, what was the last big comedy? The Hangover?
Yeah, that was the last good one.
Like just big, like blockbuster type.
Everybody agreed was
right. It was like a universal love for that, and maybe Bridesmaids. Even though I didn't really care for Bridesmaids, a lot of people love that movie too.
Yeah, but I mean, because the thing, and when we say Hangover, we mean the first one, not
the first one. Yeah. Even though those movies made a lot of money too.
Yeah, those movies was horrible. But yeah, I completely agree. We just don't have that. That's why I have a nice little collection of movies in my DVD collection dedicated to the 90s.
Yeah, that's why independent film was so important. I mean, John Wick started as an independent movie, and so that's why that's where the good movies are going to come out of. The Lionsgates. You're not going to get great action movies from Universal anymore. I don't think, at least for a while, until they figure it out.
But you will get some of their dark universe.
Yeah, you'll get garbage. You'll get that garbage because they chasing the big dollars. They chasing that Marvel money.
Okay, this is gonna be my last thing saying about this whole cinematic universe crap. Mm-hmm. Even Marvel is gonna stop doing it after this Avengers is over with. Yeah,
they know it's winding down.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with this whole cinematic universe. We were just trying to tell one story to get y'all to Thanos.
Yeah,
he's gonna be here, so. After that, we're pretty much done because we got to get rid of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. They costing us too much money.
They costing us way too much money. Yeah. What Robert pulling? Like 25 mil?
No, 200.
He pulling 200?
He getting 100 mil for each.
Oh my gosh!
He got a raise with every we do.
It's ridiculous.
When they're talking about, some of the Avengers are gonna die. I'm like, yep, it's gonna be him. He one of them.
Yeah. And then you look at like Batman, or not Batman v Superman, but Wonder Woman, and she made 300,000.
Just as much as Henry Cavill made.
No, Henry Cavill made around 12 to 14 million for a Man of Steel.
I thought he didn't make that much.
No, he made I don't know if it was just salary or residuals, because he made money in residuals too.
Okay,
as far as box office.
Because the last article I read on it said that they made the same. So I'm like, okay, that's weird.
I just read an article today on it, and they said he made, I think, 14 million for Man of Steel. So that's embarrassing. That's an embarrassment.
That is well, she's due for a pay increase.
Yeah, she definitely.
She due for a pay
increase. I do think she's also making residuals on Wonder Woman too. So that's why.
That's good then.
Yeah.
That is good, because
that's a good thing for actors to do nowadays. Don't take a smaller salary, but I want some incentives.
Yeah. I mean, because let's be real. She knocked it out the park.
She killed it,
and she was the best part of Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah, she was the best part of Batman.
And we both liked the movie. We both said what our problem was with that movie.
Yeah.
She wasn't one of them.
No,
but,
not at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, she deserves her
she deserved her money, and like we said, she ain't got much time to make it, because both of these cinematic universes, even though DC's just getting started, it ain't gonna last.
Because like
I'd say by 2022, this stuff is gonna be people gonna be so moved on from these these big comic book movies is gonna be kind of dead. So.
But I'm glad that Marvel already recognizes that, and just what, we after this we done told the story.
Yeah.
Now we just gonna have like little team up movies here and there.
Right.
you know, and leave it like that, because that's the best thing to do.
You got to walk away before, you know, you get to Transformers 5.
Yeah.
You should have been going already.
Yeah. People, if you want to know why we haven't done a review for that movie, I ain't going to watch it.
And you know what's funny? I watch these guys on YouTube, Red Letter Media, and they keep trolling. They have a couple review shows, right? And they'll put it up. Oh, you'll think, oh, they're gonna review it. And it'll be like them messing around for the first 30 seconds, just making fun of Transformers, and then they'll have like 45 minutes of black because they want to make you think they did a whole video on it. And they've done it like 3 times, and they got me every time. And it's like, and they made a little disclaimer. It's like, dude, what do you want us to do? You want us to actually watch this movie and review it? We can't do that.
Yeah, because like one of my favorite reviewers is Double Toasted.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not a critic. I don't get paid for that, because I want to watch that. I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch this shit.
No, like, I can't do it, even if that's your job. It's just
I can't. I'm like, I'm gonna call in sick.
I gotta call in sick on that one.
Yeah, I ain't gonna see that. If I go, walk out.
I won't go watch. I'm not gonna watch Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah,
and yes, I'm putting them in the same category.
I'm
They're
like,
both
give me a Nicholas Sparks movie over this, and I'll watch that.
Any day.
Yeah,
and I know what I'm going into that.
Yeah, but people, that is our look back at the 90s. What is some of your favorite 90s movies? And if you have any, let us know in the comments, and we'll make sure we answer them. We will be doing one for the 2000s. So,
oh boy.
yeah, I'm probably not gonna like my list in the 2000s, because
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, because then we're gonna have to hit them superhero movies.
Yeah.
Before they were good.
Right. Ben Affleck, we coming for you. We ain't talking about Batman.
You and Jennifer Garner. Both of y'all. So,
oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do one for the 2000s.
Halle Berry again too, I guess.
Yep.
We coming for you, Halle.
Yep. Yeah, because you talk trash. You deserve it. But that being said, that's gonna be for a future date. Other than that, like I said, let us know what you think in the comments, and we will see you guys on our next Fresh Take. Peace, peeps.
Peace.